We Jews are kind of a strange people. You heard recently about the shofar blower, the Baal Tekiah, who'd been practicing in anticipation of Rosh HaShanah. And he was so excited to blow the shofar that he actually carried his shofar with him into a local Starbucks. And when he got up to the counter at Starbucks, the barista said, "Sir, what can I get you?" He said, "I would like an apple cider in honor of the new year." The barista says, "Great, no problem." Shofar blower goes and sits down. The barista prepares his drink as they are wont to do at Starbucks. And she said, "Wait, I forgot to ask you, what's your name?" And the shofar blower says, "Tekiah. My name's Tekiah." Well, sure enough, the barista finally finishes his apple cider. And you know what Starbucks does whenever they finish the drink and they call out the name? She says, "Tekiah." And you'll know that shofar blower stood right up and he sounded his shofar. There was a lot more coffee on the table at the Starbucks than in people's mouths at that point. We Jews are a strange people. You know, every time there's a Shabbat immediately preceding a Rosh Chodesh, the Sabbath before a new month, we actually recite a special blessing in which we bless the upcoming month. What is the one exception to that rule? Today. The Shabbat immediately preceding Rosh HaShanah, we actually don't say this prayer, Mevarchim HaChodesh. We don't say the prayer announcing the new month. Why? We're superstitious. We're trying to fool Satan or the Ayin Hara to not realize that Rosh Hashanah is coming, and therefore the Satan or the Ayin Hara can't come and interfere with our New Year's celebrations. So, you know, if we don't announce that Rosh Hashanah is coming, Satan or the Ayin Hara will never know. So what do we do instead of Mevarchim HaChodesh, instead of blessing the new month? Every week, for 7 weeks, we read a special Haftarah leading all the way up to Rosh Hashanah. What else do? We blow the shofar every day of Elul, except Shabbat, leading up to Rosh Hashanah. But don't worry, the Ayin Hara will never know that it's Rosh Hashanah. Monday night begins Rosh Hashanah. Are you ready? What do you need this Rosh Hashanah? With all of the tsuris of our world, with all the blessings that we might have enjoyed in our life, what do you need to hear? What do you need to see? What do you need to do? How do you need to feel this Rosh Hashanah? The story is told of a tightrope walker who found this enormous canyon. And he was an expert tightrope walker. So sure enough, he strung his tightrope from one side to the next. And as he was affixing the final knots to the tightrope, a crowd began to appear. And the tightrope walker finishes tying his knots and securing the tightrope, and he says to the crowd, "Do you believe that I, this great tightrope walker, can walk across to the other side?" And you know what that crowd said? "Yes, we believe you." And sure enough, the tightrope walker walked to the other side. And there waiting for him on the other side of the canyon was a wheelbarrow. And the tightrope walker yelled to the crowd gathered at the other side of the canyon, "Do you believe that I can walk across on this tightrope while rolling the wheelbarrow in front of me?" "Yes," the crowd yelled out, "we believe." And won't you know, sure enough, the tightrope walker walked that wheelbarrow all the way back to the other side. Now, the tightrope walker with the wheelbarrow in hand says to the crowd, "Do you believe that I can walk across this tightrope holding this wheelbarrow with somebody sitting inside of that wheelbarrow?" "Yes, we believe," the crowd yelled out. Good, now who wants to volunteer? Silence. Faith is a wonderful thing. Trust is a lot harder. as we come into this new year, let me invite you to spend today, Shabbos, these next couple days, thinking about your relationship with God. Faith is one thing. Trust is something else. Can you place your trust in God? I know you're faithful, and I'm grateful because I look around this room and you come every Shabbos. God bless you. You make community. You fulfill this mitzvah. You make Shaarey Zedek great. Thank you. That's faith. Do you possess trust? Do you possess trust? I'll offer you another story. There was a young man 100 years ago in Europe who was just an excellent violin player. And every time the market opened up on Mondays and Thursdays, the violin player would rush to the market. He would play his violin, and not only would he make a few kopecks, but he would bring incredible joy to all the people shopping at the market. And it was just like this, week in and week out, every Monday and Thursday, the violin player would rush into the market and he would play his music. He'd make a little bit of money, but he'd bring such joy to the people. Well, wouldn't you know, one Monday, the violin player is rushing to the market and tripped. And his violin came crashing to the ground. And the young man looked at the violin and he looked at himself. And he started crying. My violin, it's ruined, the man said. I won't be able to make a few dollars. I won't be able to bring joy to the people. What am I going to do? Just then, a craftsman walked up, saw what had happened, and said to the violin player, I think I can help you. And sure enough, the craftsman looked at the violin, one side and then the other side. He tweaked a little here, he polished a little there, he bent a little there. And he handed the violin back to the violin player. And wouldn't you know, that violin sounded better than it had ever sounded before. And the violin player was able to keep going. As we come into this new year, some of us are the violin players. Some of us have broken instruments that are in need of repair. Some of us enter this new year filled with tears and sadness, fear, or anger. Others of us are the craftsmen. We know just what that person needs to find repair, to experience healing. As we enter this new year, I might invite you to think about in what ways are you the craftsman? And in what ways are you the violin player? How will you seek out the people in your family, among your community, who can help to fix your broken instrument? And in what ways are you the craftsman? How can you see the brokenness that is in front of you, among your family, within your community, in our world? And how can you then seek to bring repair and healing? We are in the last Shabbat of 5785, and we look ahead to a new year. How might it be a year of faith? How might it be a year of trust? How might it be a year of healing for all of us and for all who are in need? May this last Shabbat bring us peace. May this new year bring us all health and joy and lots of peace. Shabbat Shalom and an early Shana Tova.